Inspectors shut down a Boca Raton pizza shop after finding evidence that rodents had died there. And the owner was eager to talk about it with consumer watchdog.
20 people sick, 1 hospitalized with sepsis, all from a single birthday party at a pizza chain you've probably ordered from. This happened in April 2024 in Kentucky, and it's just one incident in a disturbing pattern. If you're one of the millions of families ordering pizza this week, you need to hear this. Because while you're thinking about toppings, some of these chains have dead rodents behind the counter, employees with open sores handling your food, and ingredients sitting at temperatures that breed dangerous bacteria. Today, I'm revealing 10 dangerous pizza chains you should avoid, like now. And before you panic, stay till the end, and I'll give you 4 safer alternatives you can trust. Let's get into it. 10. Riverside Pizza. In February 2025, an inspection report showed what happens when the person in charge has completely lost control. The lack of managerial oversight was the primary reason for failure. That's inspector code for nobody's watching the operation. What did they find? An employee wearing bracelets while making pizza on the line. Food items and employee clothes stored in the wrong places. There was literally a hoodie sitting on top of pizza boxes. Open drinks were stored with food in coolers. Pizza ingredients were sitting directly on the floor in the walk-in cooler instead of on proper shelving. The report gets worse. The bathroom wasn't clean. Sanitizer buckets weren't being used. The restaurant hadn't performed a general deep cleaning in who knows how long. This was a systematic neglect from top to bottom. When management doesn't care about basic cleanliness, employees follow that example, and you're the one eating the results. Now, this is a pattern we'll see over and over. When the person running the place doesn't know or doesn't care about food safety, everything falls apart. Riverside Pizza also had 3 repeat violations, meaning they'd been written up for the same problems before and still hadn't fixed them. At TI, least Riverside Pizza had the excuse of poor management. This next chain markets itself as premium while operating with cockroaches in the hand wash sinks. Duster 9. Picasso Pie. Picasso Pie in downtown Los Angeles is an artisanal wood-fired pizza spot that markets itself as upscale. Hand-tossed pies, quality ingredients, the whole premium experience. But in July 2025, inspectors gave them a reality check in a C grade with a score of 78. Health officials found signs of a vermin infestation throughout the restaurant. Multiple dead cockroaches were found in the hand wash sinks. Let me say that again. The sinks where employees are supposed to wash their hands before touching your food had dead cockroaches in them. Which raises the obvious question, if there were dead ones visible, how many live ones were hiding where inspectors couldn't see? Temperature violations were all over the place. Cooked chicken and pepperoni were stored above 41 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the temperature where the bacteria multiply rapidly. The 2-door cooler with cold top unit was running at 44 degrees. Every hour that your chicken sits above safe temperature dramatically increases your risk of food poisoning. The kitchen was filthy. Hood filters were covered in dust and grease. Food debris was caked on equipment. Water was leaking at the kitchen entrance, creating standing water for bacteria to thrive. Staff weren't using sanitizing solution properly with cleaning cloths, which means they were essentially just spreading germs around instead of killing them. Picasso Pie got temporarily closed and had to take corrective action before reopening. They charge premium prices while serving food prepared in a cockroach-infested kitchen, but dead cockroaches are just the beginning. Next, we've got a restaurant where mice had literally moved in and made themselves at home. 8. Happy King Pizza. Happy King Pizza in San Francisco got inspected in November 2025, and California health officials suggested the place shut down immediately. And what they found will leave you speechless. Mouse droppings were observed throughout the pizza prep kitchen and front area. Not a few droppings suggesting a mouse got in overnight, but throughout the facility, meaning mice had made themselves at home. Inspectors also found live cockroaches at several life stages on glue boards, plus holes, cracks, and crevices in walls behind the reach-in cooler where vermin could just live. But wait, there's more. There were no paper towels at the hand sink in the pizza prep area, so employees couldn't properly dry their hands even if they bothered to wash them. A moldy cucumber was found in the walk-in cooler. No sanitizer bucket was set up during inspection. Food items including tomatoes, cut onions, cheese boxes, and pizza boxes were stored directly on the floor. To make matters worse, there were sleeping-related items at the location. A mattress and personal care items like sponges and bath. Towels were stored inside the water heater room and near the front seating area. Someone was living at this pizza restaurant. The facility was ordered to deep clean everything, contact a licensed pest control company, and provide documentation of treatment before any re-inspection. If live vermin activity was found during re-inspection, the permit would remain suspended. But at least Happy King Pizza got shut down when inspectors found the mice. This next one is a buffet chain that racked up 31 violations in a single inspection and kept operating anyway. Number 7. Cece's Pizza. Located in Lufkin, Texas, this pizzeria had an inspection in August 2024 that found 31 health code violations. 31. The Angelina County Health Department walked through this buffet restaurant and found problems in every single area they checked. Black residue was inside the ice machine. The same machine produces ice that goes into customers' drinks. A bucket holding pizza pans was stored directly on the floor instead of on proper shelving. There was a water leak at the 3-compartment sink. Food was found in the hand-washing sink, which means employees were using the sink meant for hand washing to store food items. An employee was seen washing equipment but not sanitizing it afterward. Then that employee placed the equipment on the floor to air dry. Imagine that! Equipment that touches food was being washed without sanitizer, then placed on the floor. Everything that touched that floor, every shoe, every dropped ingredient, every tracked-in bacteria, was now on equipment that would touch your pizza. Temperature control was the main reason for closure. The health department had received multiple complaints about the air conditioning not working on May 22nd and June 13th. By August, the broken AC had led to building temperatures so high that cold-holding measures weren't working. The salad bar and pizza prep tables couldn't maintain safe temperatures, which meant food was sitting in the danger zone for hours. CiCi's had to completely shut down and make needed repairs before reopening on August 20th. But CiCi's violations were at one location. What about a national chain that has systematic problems from coast to coast? But hold up, before we get to the top 6, if this video is opening your eyes to what's really happening in these kitchens, hit that subscribe button. Because what's coming next gets worse, and you need to know which chains are genuinely dangerous before you order your next meal. And tell me in the comments, what's your favorite restaurant to get pizza? I'd like to know. Now back to the offenders. Fusker 6, Sbarro. This restaurant has racked up violations at multiple locations that reveal a pattern of systematic problems. Let's start with the Coral Square Mall location in Florida. An inspection in September 2024 found 8 health violations, including an active roach infestation. Live roaches were crawling around the kitchen area. Dead roaches were found in a kitchen mixing bowl, not near a mixing bowl, in the mixing bowl where they prepare food. Multiple food items, including mozzarella cheese, pizza sauce, and sliced ham, were stored at unsafe temperatures exceeding the 41-degree limit for cold-held items. The restaurant had to shut down temporarily, then passed a follow-up inspection. But here's the thing. During follow-ups on July 16th and 17th, inspectors kept finding dead roaches. One under the prep table next to the stove, more scattered beneath the triple sink, more around other kitchen accessories. This wasn't a one-time infestation that got immediately fixed. This was an ongoing struggle that took multiple closures and re-inspections to address. But Florida wasn't alone. The Tempe, Arizona Sbarro tied for most violations in their dirty dining list in May 2024. An Albuquerque location was operating with an expired permit in 2025 and racked up 12 priority violations. Food employees weren't food. Washing hands when required. The person in charge couldn't demonstrate basic knowledge of food safety requirements, and Sbarro is still operating over 600 locations worldwide. Sbarro filed bankruptcy twice, in 2011 and again in 2014, and at least that explains why they cut corners. But this next restaurant's entire business model is built on corners being cut from day one. Number 5. Little Caesars. Hot and ready for $5. Sounds like a deal, right? Little Caesars built their reputation on cheap, fast pizza, and December 2024 proved exactly what that $5 price point actually cost. The Augusta, Georgia location scored a 73 on their health inspection. That's an F. But the score doesn't tell the full story of what inspectors found. Employees with facial sores were handling money without gloves, then immediately touching food without washing hands. This is basic contamination that can spread staph infections and other bacteria directly from employee to food to customer. Food storage temperatures were all wrong throughout the facility. Hand washing between tasks wasn't happening, despite being the most basic requirement in food service. In January 2025, a Little Caesars franchisee paid $26,000 in labor violation penalties. Another franchisee got terminated by corporate, specifically for violating health, food safety, and product quality standards. Then there's the $7,000 settlement Little Caesars paid for illegally collecting employee fingerprints without consent. That $5 price point is only possible through shortcuts that directly compromise safety. The dough arrives frozen and loaded with preservatives. The sauce is concentrate mixed with water and designed to not need refrigeration. The cheese blend is maybe 60% actual mozzarella with the rest being oil and fillers. You're not getting a good deal at $5. You're getting exactly what they can produce for $5, and safety is not included in that price. Little Caesars has never pretended to be premium, but the next chain has a former industry leader that's completely abandoned the standards that made them successful. Number 4. Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut used to be the king. They had sit-down restaurants with salad bars, personal pan pizzas kids loved, that stuffed crust everyone remembers. But somewhere between being king and now, everything fell apart. July 2024 was brutal. EYM Pizza, a Pizza Hut franchisee operating 142 locations, filed for bankruptcy, owing $2.25 million to Pizza Hut and over $21 million to banks. But 12% of EYM restaurants failed health inspections. That's 4 times the average failure rate for restaurants. Let that sink in. 1 out of every 8 Pizza Huts operated by this franchisee was so bad, it couldn't pass basic inspection. And they kept operating anyway until the bankruptcy made continuing impossible. In February 2024, 200 delivery workers suddenly fired. In April 2024, there were strikes in LA over wage, theft, unpaid overtime, and eliminated sick leave. Multiple food poisoning incidents have been documented across various Pizza Hut locations nationwide. When you're firing workers and stealing wages, you're definitely not investing in proper training or food safety equipment. Pizza Hut's decline is sad, but this next chain has dangerous practices that are actually built into their business model as a feature, not a bug. Number 3, Domino's. Domino's built their modern brand on one promise: pizza in 30 minutes or less. That promise has become their biggest liability, and what's happening behind the scenes should terrify you. In February 2025, there was news that Domino's is closing over 200 locations worldwide, including 172 in Japan alone. In October 2024, shareholders filed a class action lawsuit claiming the company misled investors about store growth and operational problems. But the real issue was the systematic safety shortcuts that are built directly into how Domino's operates. When your entire operation revolves around beating a 30-minute clock, something has to give. And what gives is your health. Former employees describe watching quality standards erode year after year since 2015. And what about the 2009 recipe overhaul that was supposed to fix everything? Those improvements have been systematically dismantled by the same pressure that created the original problems. Here's what actually happens in a Domino's kitchen when that delivery timer is ticking. Hand washing gets skipped to save 15 seconds. Sanitization protocols get ignored because there's another order up. Cross-contamination becomes inevitable when the same surfaces and utensils handle different ingredients without proper cleaning between uses. But proper cleaning takes time, and time is the enemy. The most dangerous part is that pizzas get yanked from ovens before they're fully cooked just to make delivery times. Undercooked dough creates perfect conditions for bacteria. Survival. Toppings that should hit 165 degrees are getting boxed at 140. Food sitting in warming bags during delivery cycles through temperature danger zones repeatedly. The franchise model makes everything worse. Individual locations are under brutal pressure to hit corporate time standards while staying profitable. That pressure flows straight down to teenage employees making minimum wage who are being told to run. Literally run, instead of washing their hands properly. Speed is their selling point, so safety violations are the inevitable result. But at least Domino's problems are about negligence and corner cutting. Our number 2 chain has violations so severe they cross into genuinely disturbing territory. Number 2. Papa John's. Papa John's used to brag about better ingredients and better pizza. July 2025 proved that was just marketing, not reality. A dead rodent was found behind the counter, not near the dumpster outside. Behind the counter where they prepare your food. Over 20 rodent droppings were scattered behind the reach-in cooler next to the cook line. 10 more droppings behind the cooler condenser. 8 under storage shelves, 4 inside storage cases with plastic bags. Droppings in the women's restroom. Droppings under the mop sink. Droppings under the cold table at the front counter. This wasn't overnight. This was weeks or months of mouse activity that management either didn't notice or didn't care enough to address. Temperature abuse violations meant food sat in the danger zone for over 4 hours. Employees were using the hand washing sink to store equipment, making proper hand washing nearly impossible. But Papa John's problems go deeper than rodents. The company paid $175,000 in 2024 to settle disability discrimination charges. The founder's 2018 scandal, where he used racial slurs and blamed NFL protests for sales decline, revealed a toxic culture from the top down. When leadership doesn't respect people, they don't respect basic hygiene either. And they're still operating over 5,000 locations worldwide, which means these problems could be anywhere. Papa John's has rodents, but unlike the number 1 worst brand on this list, they target adults who can handle food poisoning better than children. Number 1. Chuck E. Cheese. Here we are at number 1, and Chuck E. Cheese takes the top spot for reasons that should terrify any parent. April 6, 2024. A grandmother's birthday party at the Lexington, Kentucky location. 30 people celebrating. Within 48 hours, 20 people were violently ill, and 1 woman was hospitalized with symptoms severe enough that she stopped breathing. Let me describe what guests experienced that day. The pizza tasted funny from the first bite. The chicken wings came back twice because they were ice cold. Food was sent back multiple times for temperature issues, but the restaurant kept serving it anyway. Within 2 days, guests reported severe vomiting, diarrhea, and fever. One woman's symptoms escalated so fast that her husband found her turning blue, not breathing, thinking he was watching his wife die in his arms. Health inspectors showed up 3 days later and found exactly what you'd expect. No food protection manager was present at the time of the party. No hair restraints being worn during food prep. Chicken wings stored at unsafe cold temperatures. The facility failed inspection completely and the kitchen was shut down immediately. But the damage was already done. 20 people were sick. One person fighting for her life in a hospital. And this wasn't their first incident. In December 2019, 8 people fell sick from a Washington location that had to close for violations including no hot water and missing food worker certifications. The pattern spans years and multiple locations. The business model is fundamentally broken. Entertainment comes first, food is secondary, kids run wild touching everything, creating a sanitation nightmare that would challenge even well-trained staff. But Chuck E. Cheese doesn't have well-trained staff. They have high turnover, minimal training, and employees trying to serve food safely in the middle of party chaos. When violations are found, they close temporarily, make minimal fixes, pass a follow-up inspection, and reopen like nothing happened. That's why Chuck E. Cheese is #1 on this list. They target kids, they have a pattern of making people sick, and they keep operating like nothing's wrong. Now that I've thoroughly terrified you, let's talk about 4 safer options for ordering your pizza. But first, if this video is making you side-eye your favorite restaurant, hit that like button and subscribe so that more people can see this. Also, tell me in the comments, is your favorite pizza place on this list, and will you still be purchasing from there? Now on to the good ones. Number 1, Costco Food Court. This might surprise you, but Costco Food Court pizza is legitimately one of the safest options. Why? Because Costco's food safety standards are insanely strict. They pay for thousands of third-party audits every year beyond normal government inspections. Their internal standards often exceed legal requirements. Employees can't leave the food prep area with aprons. If they do, the apron must be replaced before returning. Food that touches the counter near the register gets thrown away, not returned to the kitchen. Even nail polish is discouraged because chips could contaminate food. The pizza uses real ingredients. Dough made fresh daily at each location. 100% mozzarella with no fillers. The low price is possible because Costco uses food court sales as a loss leader to drive warehouse traffic. They can afford to maintain quality because they're not trying to maximize food court profits. Plus, corporate oversight actually works with consistent standards enforced across all locations. Nastuhu, Blaze Pizza. Blaze Pizza follows the build-your-own model, but does it right? Their dough uses just 5 ingredients with no artificial additives. The sauce comes from vine-ripened tomatoes without added sugar or preservatives. They've eliminated artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives from the entire menu, and they publish ingredient lists so you can verify. The fast-fire cooking method ensures pizzas are properly cooked without shortcuts. The 900-degree ovens kill any bacteria while maintaining speed. Most importantly, Blaze hasn't filed bankruptcy. They're financially stable, which means they can afford to maintain standards without the desperation-driven corner-cutting we've seen elsewhere. The open kitchen design means you can watch your food being prepared. Employees know customers are watching, which alone improves compliance with safety protocols. 3. Local independent pizzerias. Here's your best option overall. Find a local independent pizzeria with consistently high health inspection scores. Most counties have online databases where you can look up any restaurant's inspection history. I'll put a link in the description showing you how to access your county's health department database. Look for places with scores above 95 and 0 critical violations for the past year. Independent spots have advantages chains can't match. The owner is usually present, so there's direct accountability. Their reputation depends entirely on word of mouth in the community. One food poisoning incident and they're done, which creates motivation for safety that corporate manuals never achieve. Plus, you're supporting local business and usually getting better ingredients because they're not locked into corporate supplier contracts. Number 4. Make your own. The safest option is making pizza at home. You control every ingredient. You know exactly what goes into your food. You control the cleanliness, plus it's cheaper than delivery. A bag of flour, some yeast, tomato sauce, and cheese costs less than 1 large pizza. Get your kids involved and it becomes a family activity where they learn cooking skills. There are hundreds of simple pizza dough recipes online that take 30 minutes of active work. Let it rise while you prep toppings. Bake it at the highest temperature your oven can handle, usually 500–550 degrees. You'll get better pizza than most chains deliver, you'll know it's safe, and you'll save money doing it. There you have it. 10 outright dangerous pizza chains, cockroaches, rodents, disgustingly unsanitary food practices, and even Chuck E. Cheese almost killing people from a single birthday party. The pattern is crystal clear. When chains are desperate for profit, corners are cut to meet impossible financial targets, and you're the one paying the price with your health. But now you have safer options. Costco, Blaze, local independents, or just make it yourself and eliminate all the risk. So if this video helped you avoid a dangerous meal, share it with someone who still orders from these chains. Hit subscribe for more food investigations that protect you and your family. Check your county health department website today and look up your favorite restaurants. Links in the description. And tell me, have you gotten sick from any of these chains? Drop the name in the comments and what happened. Also, if you still plan on ordering from any of these places after today, tell me why. I'd like to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.